All right, aloha, beautiful beings. Captain Rick here. It's been a long time since I've actually recorded a reading in a while, but I spent some time this morning writing out the simple secret. So I'm going to just go ahead and read what I've written, and feel free to read it or watch the video. Entirely up to you. But here's from my heart and just a little bit of love, sharing the secret. All right, so this is a simple secret. Simple enough for a child to understand and create his own happiness. The greatest lesson I've ever learned was taught by my grandfather in a moment when I was receptive. I'd run away, desperate. I hitchhiked to the ranch where I would live off the land and be free from what my parents wanted to do with me. So 12-year-old me was scared, feeling alone and misunderstood, about to be sent away to a boarding school thousands of miles from home. The ranch was where our family would go on weekends during the summer. My grandparents had a Christmas tree farm with gardens, fruit trees, creeks, ponds, goats, chickens, pigs, rabbits, and an old Indian cave. I always felt safe and free there. My plan was to escape, live off the land, and sleep in the cave. But when I arrived, I stumbled upon my grandpa. Now, he was deaf, and we often spoke by reading lips and writing things on paper. I suppose I could have evaded him, seeing him before he was aware of me, and yet I paused, standing still until he looked away. There we were, face to face. He jumped, startled and amazed, then smiled, happy to see me. We drove in his old Dodge truck to my grandparents' home, where my grandma, of few words, made us lunch. She served hot tea with fresh goat's milk and honey. After lunch, my grandpa and I sat at the dining room table. The few words he spoke would forever be etched in my mind. He brought out a book, clasped in manila paper with his handwritten notes all over it. It was an encyclopedia over 100 years old that he'd salvaged from a fire years ago. He turned to a section in the book and pointed at pictures of men and women who'd taken on the physical characteristics of animals such as lions, geese, and donkeys. He said to me, "Sir Richard, be careful what you think, for surely you shall become." At that very moment, I don't know what I thought about it. And then he shared something more. He said, "Man will tell you what to believe, why to believe it, and who you should be. They will tell you who and what God is based on what they believe. It's up to you to form your own belief, what is true for you. Right now, this may not make much sense, and your feelings may be very confusing. The pain that you feel will pass, and you'll be left with your own thoughts. Be careful what you think, for surely you shall become." Now, I pondered these statements as we moved to the living room where my grandma often played the pianos, sang hymns, and we gathered as a family during Christmas and holidays. My grandma sang in the choir at church every Sunday. Rarely did my grandpa attend. Most days you'd find him in the garden. I remember asking him in that moment, "Grandpa, what do you believe?" And he said without hesitation, "God is far beyond my understanding, greater than my imagination, and incomprehensible to man. And love is what love does. God is love. You will create your own beliefs based on how you see God." Now, these were the seeds planted so long ago in kindness and love, and it took me a long time to realize the magnitude of what he'd shared with me, the simple secret to life and happiness that evades most people. Continuing to learn and forming new beliefs like a child, fresh and new, I remain young at heart, full of optimism and hope, believing and trusting that this God is for me and not against me. While I understand that perception is as unique as snowflakes, often dissolving and forming something new. Yet, is there anything new under the sun except the individual perception of what is? If the truth is that God is love and I'm the object of that love, then whom shall I fear? Man is taught the fear of God, the wrath of God. Does he see the love of God in his fellow man? Does he embody the love of God in his own being and express it? Or does he see the wrath of God in his own judgment? Judge not, lest ye be judged. So then who's the judge? If you see with eyes of love or eyes of wrath, are you still not the judge? Right or wrong, the perception is your own, perhaps weighed with others' perceptions, which are a reflection for you to form your own perspective. Now, genuine curiosity is void of skepticism and judgment. To be genuinely curious requires a childlike mind, void of preconceived notions that you know the truth. And to be genuinely curious without forming an opinion is an elusive task requiring a disciplined mind and open heart. So, my lifelong prayer and state of being is simple enough. Lord, please don't harden my heart. What I see and how I perceive it reflects what's going on inside of me. The outside world reflects the inside world. To change the outside world, I must change how I feel on the inside. I can and do change the way I feel from something that is less than productive or even destructive to something that is creative and supportive of the dream, the feeling I want to feel. This act is not to deny how I feel in a moment or to stuff down a truth and pretend it doesn't exist. It's quite the opposite of that. It's the acceptance and love I have for that which I've been given to transform and create something new and pleasing to me. It is free will and the simple secret to a happy life. The feeling is the secret. To feel as if I'm empowered or to feel as if I'm helpless are choices made in the moment. These are choice points in reality based solely on the feelings which we can consciously change. Where my attention goes, my energy flows, and the new creation is born. Perception, then, is projection, and we see based on the perception we hold in the moment. The longer the perception is accepted, the greater the chance of it coming to form, bringing it to life. Until the perception is changed, the picture remains the same. So conscious perception is received by the subconscious mind as truth. Until the conscious mind accepts a new belief, the subconscious mind will continue to produce the results based on the conscious belief. So to hold on to feelings of doubt, unworthiness, regret, shame, or guilt is counterproductive to the results you desire. Even the thought of wanting something that is not in existence yet it's still counterproductive to the desired outcome. The simple secret is to feel as if, embodying the feeling of what it is to be, do, or have something, the desired state. You must feel as if it is already in existence, that you are that. The someday feeling produces the same result. Someday I'll be, do, or have. That is someday in the future, not in the now moment. You must know the feeling, feel it fully without a doubt before it becomes a reality. Now, we are reality creating beings, and to the extent that you believe yourself to be, you will be. The I am statements or affirmations are useless without conviction. Any thought of unworthiness, doubt, or reasons why you should not experience your dream will produce the equivalent results and feelings. You will continue to chase it and it will elude you unless you replace the thoughts and feelings with that which will support the dream. So, in conclusion, you must be what it is you want to experience and dare to dream. Aloha.